Hi there, it's Vero or at Vero from YouTube and Instagram, and today's video is all about using acrylographs for nail art, spooky edition. Whether you're preparing for a spooky party or for Halloween in general, maybe adding some spooky nails to the mix is your next challenge. Because this video is about spooky nails, the colours that I'm going to be using today are black, white and orange. I'm going to start off by prepping my nails. If you would like some more information on cuticle care and nail care, then check out my associated blog post because I go over that in more depth in that blog post. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding on my decorations or the little bits of art, and I'm going to create these little kind of French tips, but not really French tips, by using a little bit of a curved edge to them. So this is kind of what it looks like, and very carefully I'm going to make sure that I don't go over the edge onto my skin, and then I'm going to go in after they've fully dried with the actual decorations. I'm trying to alternate the placement of the curves on each nail. Sometimes I'm going to go for the side, sometimes I'm going to go for the base of the nail, but basically just trying to mix it up without too much thought in mind. When you're using acrylograph pens, make sure to shake them very, very well before you start using them. And you can use one of the pads that come with the acrylograph pens to kind of make sure that the ink is flowing nicely before you start putting it onto your nails. Because if you don't pay attention, sometimes it might come out a little bit too watery and then it won't look very nice. Because the idea is to use it when it's nice, opaque and thick. Once I've gone for the base colors, which you can see over here, I think it looks really fun, and I'm now going to start adding some additional decorations. I'm going to start with my middle finger because it is one of the larger surfaces of nail. As you can see, my nails are quite short for this video because I'm going to try and do a video for people who have shorter nails, because not everybody has super long manicured nails or fingers. So this video is really appropriate if you have shorter nails. What I'm going to do as decorations is I'm going to put little white dots on the black bits as well as on the pink bits so that I have like these little mini stars showing out, which I think is really cute. For the stars, I'm going to start with a little dot in the center and I'm going to drag it out to the four corners so that it looks like a star. Now with acrylographs, it is difficult to get really small details, so you're going to have to accept the fact that it's going to be a little bit thicker than if you were to use normal nail polish. But I think it looks really fun and I like having the little cross and star shape. Once I've dragged out the edges, I tend to use the acrylograph to make these little curved edges between the lines so it doesn't look like a cross and more like a star. And then I'm just going to move on to the other colors. I'm also going to allow myself to do slightly more decorations on this hand because I'm using my dominant hand to draw, which means that I can kind of get some shapes going on, which is what I'm going to do on my thumb. So on my thumb, I'm going to do a little cobweb, and as you can see, I'm going to start by drawing out some straight lines from a central spot, and then I'm going to use curved edges and I'm going to create the webs for the spider web. So it's just one small little web on my thumb, which I think is kind of cute. I'm also going to attempt to draw a little bat on my middle finger, which you can see over here, and the bat kind of looks cute but also doesn't necessarily look like a bat, but I think it kind of worked, and if you look at it close enough, I think it works. Now, if you're concerned about going over things and you make too much of a mess, don't forget that you can actually use the base color and go over the colors again, because acrylographs are stackable pens. So for example, you can see me fixing up this black star on my orange nail, and I'm just going to use the orange acrylograph to kind of fix out the edges of the black star to make it look a little bit more thin and refined. So this is one of the ways that you can make the acrylographs look thinner on your nails by using the technique of using other color to thin out the lines, which I think is really cool. Now this doesn't work for every single design, it won't work for my bat, but it does work for the little stars. For my dominant hand, I'm not going to do any spider webs or any little bats because I think it's going to be a little bit too complicated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hold my acrylograph and kind of move my dominant hand to get the right shapes. The best way for me to put decorations on my dominant hand is to hold my non-dominant hand very steady on a flat surface and then to move my dominant hand around so that I create the shape. Now sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, and basically the idea here is that practice will make perfect, and the more you try this, the easier it will get. So for this hand, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the cute little edges with little curves, and I'm going to put on little stars as well. Now here, as you can see, I'm struggling quite a bit to get it close to the thumb, so what I ended up doing was just coloring in my thumb as well. What I'm going to do afterwards is just going to use some acetone to remove that because I think that'll come off nicely. But I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just going to wait for everything to dry. Because I am not good enough with my non-dominant hand, I'm not going to even attempt to do little stars. They're all just going to be little white dots or black dots depending on the color of the base nail. and I think it is an effective idea. Once I've done all of my designs, I'm going to use a top coat to seal everything in. Now, one of the things that I enjoy about acrylographs and not using a top coat is the idea that at the end of a week, the acrylograph typically washes away from the nails, so you could keep your base color and then just redo the acrylograph designs without putting a base coat. When I do put a base coat on, it will kind of seal that design, and from experience, the design typically lasts about a week, and if I don't put the top coat, it lasts about 2 to 3 days. If you want to change your designs up again, then maybe don't put the top coat on and just wait for the colors to come off, and then you can redo your nails with different designs. Pro tip. But if you do put the top coat on, then this is what it's going to be like. And there, friends, this is what my nails look like. Nice and short nails. Otherwise, friends, have a very good week, and I'll see you in another video very, very soon.